Hello, everybody. Dave Neal here, stand-up comic host of Bachelor Nation News, and we've got abysmal approval ratings for Clayton. Now, you might be wondering, Dave, did you compile a ratings for what people think about the lead of the show? No, not at all. I just put a graph there on a thumbnail. That's all we have. But there's a general consensus there that people aren't happy with the way Clayton has let Shanae stick around after her bullying and all that. And I watched the show going, he didn't see what was going down. And then people go, but everybody told him. So we'll get into this. There's a little bit of a PR campaign happening from Bachelor Happy Hour. You see here, can we all just take a moment and send Clayton Echard some love? I think that needs to happen. I think that's good. I think he's in a position that only a couple dozen men and women have ever been in, and we don't know how we would handle that situation either. I'm sure he's never in his life had people really not like him other than exes and maybe a random person here or there. And it's probably very tough when you're a self-proclaimed people pleaser. So we'll get into that whole story right now. Do me a favor, follow me on Instagram at DNeals for extra bonus content, stand-up comedy clips, some other things like that. You can go check that out at DNeals. I appreciate all the support. And of course, the Dave Neal Show, if you want non-Bachelor related YouTube content, there's a video I just released yesterday, how China stole America's best skier. We talk about the Spotify Joe Rogan issues, Kim and Kanye, Britney Spears, a little political, Whoopi Goldberg, Tom Brady, you know, a good smorgasbord of non-Bachelor content. So if you need a good palate cleanser, you can go over there. We officially got monetized yesterday after only being a channel for the last month and already have over 3,000 subscribers. Well on our way to 10,000. All right, so we'll get into it. Here's what Clayton said after, the end of January after watching. I think this was after episode 4. He said, I'm looking forward to having an open and honest discussion at the Women Tell All with what happened. It's important to hold people accountable, including myself. He had since apologized to Elizabeth, and then other people have called him out. Right? Yesterday we made a video about Lindsay, a.k.a. Jamie Lynn, calling out Clayton for saying, hey, we told you. We all lined you up and told you what was going down with Shanae. You didn't believe us. And then he said, I would never want anyone to feel bullied. However, when someone is mocking and... this wasn't what he said. Anyway, you get the point. So then we have Clayton saying, oh boy, what I was being told then and what I'm seeing now is like watching two different movies. And it's like, welcome to the show. Sierra Jackson said, we tried to tell you. And as I said yesterday, this is like having, I'm going to use the same analogy I had yesterday. Say your roof needs fixing and you bring 30 different contractors in and interview them all on how they can fix your roof. And one person says, hey, don't listen to that other contractor. He's bad news. He's not going to fix your roof. And then someone else says, yeah, that contractor's no good. But then that contractor's a very personable and you really like them, they're charming, and you go, I trust this contractor. And then everyone else says, we told you they weren't going to do a good job. And you go, well, how do I know? You don't, you know what I mean? So unlike a friend or a mother or someone that doesn't have a vested interest in the outcome, they told him to look out for Shanae, but they're also competing against Shanae. Can you really blame the guy for trying to go with his gut? What he finds out is that his gut is really his nether regions. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm just trying to listen to my gut. And it's like, bro, that's not your gut. That's your wonder stick. All right, here, take your wonder stick and hit the like button an odd number of times. So anyway, on Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, we've got the ladies saying, let's take some time to send some love to Clayton, and let's just play what they have to say.
I want to do this because I feel like, especially after this week, Clayton is going to get a lot of backlash just for keeping Shanae around, for all of the drama that is still penetrating throughout the, I want to say the house, but now the hotel that you're in.
The drama is penetrating, she says. That's not all that's going to be penetrating. We know the previews. We saw them. He makes love to multiple people. All right, so yeah, listen, Clayton's he's no Ari, right? He's not taking out PPP loans and complaining about the price of avocados in his second home in Hawaii. You know what I mean? The guy just believes the wrong person. You know.
So let's build him up a bit. What are the top 3 qualities or things that you know that you love about Clayton or that makes you feel special? Anything. Let's just hype him up.
Yeah, I love this. Totally. Which I also think it's important to know. I mean, watching back and seeing Shanae's interviews, we're shocked about like what was said and actually what her kind of motives and ulterior motives were. So I think it's new for everyone almost to an extent, and especially Clayton. I mean, he was kind of I know we kind of tried to give him some insight and stuff, but also there was a sense of like, well, I don't want to meddle too much because I actually don't know truly what's going on. And like, this is about finding love. So like, who knows, maybe like their connection is actually over the moon. And like, there was like lots of confusion. So I do wish people would have a little more grace, not saying that any of Shanae's actions are like right.
Isn't it funny how sensitive we have to be in this situation? And because I'm the same way. Hey, I'm not saying Shanae did anything right. Because as soon as we're very tribalistic, right? So as soon as people think you're taking one side, they go, well, are you saying it's okay for Shanae to bully people? No, that's not what I'm saying, you dumb. What we're saying is, like she said, it's a show for Clayton to find love. And unfortunately, it's not a show of who's the best girlfriend in the house. So sometimes you have a connection with somebody, even though they're a crummy person in another aspect of their world, and he isn't privileged to see that at the moment.
But I think he's just super genuine. Like, he is just a really good person, I think, and that strives. Is that the word? No. I don't know. But that is like what he ultimately just like wants to do, like wants to navigate, like, and make good decisions as a good person. And I think he really exudes that in person when you're with him. He always kind of just left a huge comforting space for whoever he was speaking with. He always made you feel like you're the only girl in the room. Like, nothing was like dumb, or no conversation was off topic. He was down to like talk about anything, which I think is great. And like, he has a great sense of humor. Like, he's always down to have fun. He's just a really fun person to be around. But I think you can also like trust him. He would never on purpose hurt anyone's feelings. Like, there's just not a malicious bone in his body. So I think that's 3.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. I think we need to do that more often, especially whether it's with the lead or any contestant, just because this world is crazy. You get love, you get hate, and it's just good to remember, like, he was chosen as the lead for a reason, and we got to keep that at the forefront. I want to do this because...
Good point. She says there's a lot of hate out there. And of course we see that. We'll go back to Clayton's Twitter here. When we're talking about mental health issues, one of the big things we like to say is, people say, oh, you need to be mindful of neurodivergency and not giving hate and not bullying. Of course. What Shanae's dismissiveness over ADHD. Absolutely. But what Clayton says, he's okay. He's going to be okay. But somebody isn't. And Clayton says everyone's mental health matters. So please keep that same energy before you click send. Now, we don't know what shows up in Clayton's inbox, but I can imagine it's about a flaming dumpster fire of nonsense. People get very triggered. And I don't think we do a really good job in society of, I say we collectively, but I think there's a big problem in society with mental health issues and how we properly exfoliate all of that gunk off of our soul, right? I don't know how else to say that. Get a speed bag, go do some boxing, go for a walk. We're so attached to the internet and for all the toxicity that exists around that, accompanied by a global pandemic that has not gone anybody's way. I think we all need to consider therapy. We all need to consider how we're all hurt. So when we watch someone, which is obviously toxic in its own right, to see Shanae say what she said, but when we watch that, we unearth a lot of our own baggage, don't we? All right? And we need to look in the mirror and say, all right, it's one thing to be offended for someone else on a show that doesn't matter anything about us. It doesn't. And it's another for us to understand, why are we triggered by certain things? And again, I'd love to get some of my psychologist friends on the phone here to come on the show to talk about it, because I don't have answers to that. Because I feel the same way. I feel visceral reactions to certain things. And then I know you guys do as well. And it's different for everybody. Now, the comic knows you might make 10 different jokes about 10 different subjects. Somebody's going to be very mad about one of those subjects. And something else won't strike a chord with them. And that's just the way the world works. We empathize with certain situations and we litigate the sort of despair we felt. And that's what being triggered is. It's pulling up wounds that haven't been properly addressed, right? And again, that doesn't mean we need to, that doesn't mean we're not the victims here. It just means whenever you feel like there's some friction going on because of something you saw on the TV, that's for you to address, and that's for me to address. And hopefully we can work on that and not just lash out at others. Clayton didn't ask for that. Clayton did. I know people go, well, he signed up for the bar. No. We can't use that as an excuse. We need to do better, and we need to be better, and we need to understand that Clayton signed up on a show to find love, okay? He's going to get some shit from some of the contestants on the Women Tell All and all that, but I really hope we kind of judge him from a place where we realize we haven't been in that situation, and the people that have understand how hard it is, so let's listen to them, have compassion and grace for him, and also for others, and not forget that the real villain every season of The Bachelor are the producers, because they're the ones who edit and do it in a certain way that creates that reaction from us. So it's kind of like in society, we're mad at our employer, we're mad at our friend. No. It's the people above. It's the decision makers that are bought and paid for. Those are the ones that we should really be upset about and not be confused about what's on Spotify and what's not on Spotify. You get that? I digress. We'll talk to you guys in a little bit. More content coming your way. Check out the Dave Neal Show if you want some non-Bachelor related content. I'll see you guys later. Bye now.